Us live at LocalU up at Blue Mountains in Ontario, Canada. Our first ever audience here in Canada, so I'm pretty excited. I'm joined here today with my wonderful colleague, Colan Joy, and we're just going to touch on a few things that we've learned already so far this morning from the conference. So welcome, Colan.
Thank you. So yeah, I kicked off the day today with a presentation about the local filter. And I tried to make the case that the local filter, or understanding the local filter, is arguably the most important concept to understand in all of local SEO. Joy, what were your main takeaways from that presentation?
I think so, for sure. Like if you're in a business that's in a scenario that is impacted by the local filter, it's huge. So to recap what I got from it, if you're within 200 feet of another business that is in the same industry category as you potentially have filtering problems. What I thought was really cool about your presentation was just the impact that it can have on a business's ROI. So, we talk about ranking all day. Who really cares if it doesn't impact your ROI? So in the examples Colan shared, you went through a few different case studies of businesses that were filtered, where they became unfiltered. And then you talked about what that did to their ROI. So there was two stats I remember. One was a recent case that we worked with, which was a dentist. And within the month after they got unfiltered, their call volume went up 400%. That's insane.
Yep.
And then you said, I think overall with all the cases you looked at, the overall increase was 35% on average.
Specifically calls from the Google business profile, comparing the month before to the month after the filtering issue was fixed.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That was huge.
Yep.
So really, really important to get a really thorough understanding of that. I know we've done a lot of audits where the business is oh, I've got the most reviews. Why am I not ranking? It's
Yep.
Oh, you're filtered. Which I think the dentist we audited also has potential filtering problems too. So
yes.
Next up after you, Colan, was Claire Carlisle. She flew all the way over
Amazing.
here from Wales. So definitely our furthest away attendee.
Yep.
And her talk was about the Google business profile, the knowledge panel. Colan, what was your takeaways from her talk?
Yeah, so Claire really, she took us through all of the things that she has seen historically that influence the knowledge panel. She broke down the different types of knowledge panels. You've got your traditional local knowledge panel that we're all kind of familiar with reviews that get pulled in. She then showed us traditional knowledge panels. She showed us, stacked knowledge panels, where sometimes you'll see traditional knowledge panel, local knowledge panel. And then she just went through all the different things that she's discovered that you can do to actually influence your knowledge panel. So she talked about things like schema, for instance, and she showed us some examples of businesses that host events. And she would go look at the events that were getting pulled into their knowledge panel, and they were super outdated. So then she looked into the web page, and the schema was super outdated. So these little things, but really important things that businesses don't think about. And the knowledge panel is just so important, because if you do a branded search for a business, that is the big piece of real estate that people see. And it was funny. It was super funny. Claire is incredibly witty and funny. The crowd was laughing the whole time. So it was amazing.
She's fantastic. My favorite funny part for her is what she talked about, contacting Google business profile support 7 times about an issue that she wanted to resolve. And really persistence pays off. I think she really made that loud and clear with her presentation. And it was quite humorous, because we can all relate. We've all had those emails with, Google support where it's oh my God, no, I meant this.
Sometimes you just got to keep pushing with Google support till you get to your solution.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then one of my all-time favorite SEOs, he's an old school local SEO. I'd say one of the OGs of local SEO, Matthew Hunt, did an incredible presentation today. Joy, what were your big takeaways from
He talked about the importance of personal branding, and I think this is something that's really fascinating that a lot of small businesses don't get, is having a personal brand. And so many business owners, they don't want to always be the face of the brand, but you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
And I know, I get it. I'm in that same boat. So he compared, Elon Musk's following on Twitter compared to Tesla's, and how people relate to Elon more than they relate to Tesla. And you kind of have to mix both if you are going to run a business. And he talked a lot about social media.
Yep.
One of the biggest things he talked about was having short form content that leads to long form content, and how business models have kind of shifted a bit in the sense of before it was all lead gen, and now customers, when they hire companies, they really want to have a relationship with them, follow them on social media. So I think it's really important for brands to keep that in mind. And it's not just big brands like Tesla, it's
Yep.
like local businesses too. I've seen, like on our YouTube channel, we interviewed Roger Wakefield. If you haven't watched that, strongly recommend watching that. He talked about like a local plumber
Yep.
in Dallas can do something with social media, can make money from social media,
Yep.
which is, I feel like, not a concept people get. The one tip that he had that I think would be good for our audience to hear that I thought was just amazing was he said to record your sales calls. And that's not something I'd like really heard of. We've never done that before. And he's like, usually, you ask for permission, you say you want to record it so you can send them like a transcript after, and it's useful for them, useful for you. He's like, but then what you do is you take that transcript, you throw it into ChatGPT, and you ask it to pull out all of the customers' frustrations, their hopes, their desires, and then you take that and you turn it into content.
Crazy.
So like, if you're a lawn care business and somebody's calling in and they're complaining about their lawn and it looks crappy, or they've got bugs, or they've got this and that, you can pull out all those things from that call, turn them into content pieces, and then fuel that to your social media posts, your website, all that stuff. Another tip, I'll give two, was that I asked him, I said, what about like, how do you avoid as a business having to take the same post you wrote for your website, turn it into a YouTube script, turn it into Instagram? Like, it's like, is there a way just to like come up with a format that works everywhere? And his answer was no. Like, you basically have to keep each medium separate. And we do this at Sterling Sky. Like, when we write a blog post, we write the blog post like for SEO, the scannable content with headings and all that stuff. And then like YouTube has to be very, very different.
Yes.
So you have to like take the same thing and write it twice. And unfortunately, there was no easy way about that. But I think, again, if you're doing it right, then it should be worth your effort. So I've seen people just throw their YouTube scripts on a website and expect it to work for SEO. And it doesn't.
Yes. So. Different audiences, different platforms.
100%.
You got to tailor it.
Yeah. Super stoked for this afternoon as well. We have a lot of other great sessions coming. So I'm sure we'll have lots more to learn and report back on.
Yeah. The other thing we had this morning was a live audit, a double audit. So we did a live audit of a dental clinic, and we did an audit of a hood cleaning, think restaurants, hoods, hood cleaning company. Joy did this with our colleague Brandon. It was just fantastic. I think some of the things that came out, interestingly, the dentist had some potential filtering issues, which was tied to my presentation in the morning. So it was kind of neat to see a real world example of a dentist experiencing that. And then, I don't know, what did you kind of think about Brandon's breakdown? It was pretty amazing what he did.
He didn't talk like an SEO. He talked like, giving the business a better perspective on like what they should do brand wise with their website to make themselves look more authentic and display themselves better. So he had a lot of like solid tips on just how to reposition their website better for that. Trying to think of like anything specific. We talked a lot about like, reporting spam on Google, how to get rid of that, how to make the website stand out more. There was a lot of practical tips that came out of that one.
Photos was a big one as he was looking through this hood cleaning company's website. There was some, stock photos, generic photos, similar photos throughout. So it was just a really big opportunity for that business to have real photos, right? Really showing off their employees.
And before and after photos was a big one,
Before and after photos.
Because like that's huge, right? If you're looking at a cleaning type of company, like the before and after is a strong selling point for sure.
Because you go from dirty, greasy, awful to pristine, literally sparkling. I almost can't think of a better business that could do before and after photos.
And I think for both businesses, we recommended they should get Leadferno because like that's a huge misstep with I think a lot of small businesses. They have no texting options on their website. And it's like, what is everyone's preferred method of communication these days? It's texting. That applies to businesses. Like, do you call your friends? No, you text your friends. Everyone texts everything. So if you're a business and you don't have a text button on your website or a way for people to text you, you're hugely missing out on leads. And we've seen this, like we have it on our website. We try to get our clients to set up Leadferno, and it's wonderful. Like it's a really great lead source, and we'll just convert more of your existing traffic.
Yeah, we have a dentist in New York City, very busy cosmetic dentist. They switched over from like a live chat thing to Leadferno, and they just love the amount of detail that patients will leave. Big front teeth contouring. They'll be very descriptive, which then also kind of fuels like keyword research ideas and content ideas. So Leadferno is a really cool tool.
Absolutely. So Colan, we have something coming up that you should probably let everybody know about.
Yeah, so hot off the presses, it should be live. If you go to the Sterling Sky blog, if it's not there yet, it will be launched very soon. We do we call it the local SEO black belt quiz. We've been doing one annually for the last, I want to say 4 years. So the 2023 local SEO black belt quiz is live on the Sterling Sky website. Head over, you'll find it there. Take the quiz, see how you do, share the results on Twitter.
Yeah, don't be ashamed, guys. Like if you fail, like I'm telling you, he purposely makes it ridiculously hard.
Yes.
So he doesn't want like every SEO just to take it and pass with flying colors. So it's a challenging test, but I do think it's a lot of fun, and I love seeing if I like score perfect. And I don't even think I did this time. So
and I will say I do create these quizzes. I do have to do research for them. If I did this quiz without any research, there is a chance that I would not myself get a perfect score on this. Like we try to make it that sort of difficult. So black belt is like, but let us know. Let us know how you did.
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in and joining us, and make sure you subscribe to our channel to get more tips at a future date.
All right. Bye, everyone.